Hi folks, James here, and welcome to the Spiro Circle. Anyone who knows me understands how much I love food. I love ordering it, I love choosing it, I love eating it, I love sharing times with friends over meals. I love everything about it, except the cooking itself. I hate cooking. I wanted to speak to someone today who really taps into the meaning of food and what that does for community, culture, heritage, and society. Chef Maricel Gentile has that story to tell. She grew up in the Philippines, in Manila, and brought her heritage and food to America, where she lived a corporate life before changing her career and becoming somewhat of a celebrity chef. She's been on Hulu reality TV shows, she has a cookbook out, and she hosts workshops in teaching people how to cook and enjoy food from the Philippines and also all across Asia. We spoke about a bunch of things, mainly about the importance of food, the connection it has to your heritage, spreading your culture across different people and different countries. It was really enjoyable. It made me very, very hungry. So please enjoy the episode. I hope you get something from it, and let me know what you choose to order or cook when the episode's done. Thank you. Maricel, thank you so much for taking the time today.
Thank you.
I'd love to dive a bit deeper into some of the things that you've said and some of the things that I've seen you online talk about. You've mentioned that food is never just food, and that
Yes.
it can encompass things like migration and parenthood and belonging, real human feelings. Talk me through some of the memories that you had as a child that maybe led you to that point of view today.
Yes, that's an interesting question. I love to explore on that one. Well, I grew up in the Philippines, Manila, Philippines, and I actually grew up with my grandmother. My mom was so busy, she's a doctor. So I spent all my younger years with my grandmother. She drags me to all the supermarkets that she goes to. And I kind of like got so interested with it because how she made all those food, the flavors, the freshness, it's just amazing. And this was 55 years ago. I just had my birthday, so
Happy
I'm
birthday.
getting old. Thank you. So, growing up, I saw her how she prepared food. And it's so simple, and sometimes simplicity makes it a better dish. It comes out a better dish. So, with that, she taught me how to cook. I was so interested with that. I say her kitchen was my playground. She had exposed me to wonderful flavors. And I think that's what I'm trying to do here now. I quit my corporate job, all right, because there's so much urge within me to really share, first of all, Filipino cuisine. I'm so proud of our culture, our tradition, our heritage. So I think introducing this cuisine to the world is is a great idea. And I say to this day, that goal is being accomplished. A lot of people now are coming to my studio to learn Filipino cuisine. In my restaurant, we have a thing called Chef's Table. Now, that is a plated dinner. It's a nine-course dinner, Filipino cuisine. And everybody, and 90% of my clients are non-Filipinos. And through that, I know that once they taste it, it's a different flavor. They love it. And I do a couple of things. There's a Kamayan tour that we said, a Kamayan uh, tower that we call it. It's a layer, a tower of food, and people, especially those Filipinos that I grew up here, I grew up in the Philippines and came here and worked. They, when I introduce this Filipino food, they get triggered. The memories of their childhood get triggered. They get emotional while eating this food. And that's what my purpose here, I guess, is to enhance whatever you had experienced before, or it's a new thing for you to experience Filipino cuisine.
What would you say are some of the main differences between Filipino cuisine versus other Asian cuisines or other cuisines generally?
Well, of course, like Chinese, we have some resemblance, but the Filipino food, it's like organic in the sense like whatever we had like it's an agricultural country, so we use a lot of our plants, and then we're surrounded by water, so we are really rich in seafood, and that I guess the technique of how we put it. I always say like the Chinese, the Japanese, they love the soy sauce. The Filipino, the Thai people, the Vietnamese, we love fish sauce. And we're both in Asian country, but those two differences. Soy sauce has a different flavor. Meanwhile, fish sauce also has a different flavor. So that's I guess the difference in ingredient wise and taste.
You mentioned you quit your corporate job to follow the passion of teaching everyone around the world the wonders of this kind of cuisine. Was there a defining moment where the penny dropped for you, where you were just like, this is what I want to do, this is the new path I want to take?
Yes. So, a little history. So, I went here to and took restaurant management in New York City, and after that, it was a fast corporate. I went up to the corporate ladder real fast by working through high-end restaurants and hotels in New York City. But then I moved to New Jersey, and then I ended up opening up my own business. But then that was a dollar store. But now I went back to the food business, and then I manage a very big food service company here in New Jersey. But it's not complete for me. I work, I do my job, I do it, with all my heart. But then there came a point like, there's something missing. Like at the back of my mind, there's always something that I need to do what I want to do. And that's so teaching the Filipino cuisine. So 8 years ago, I said to my husband, I said, you know what? I'm not happy anymore with what I'm doing. So I want to do something that I love to do. And he says, quit your job and do what you want to do best. And so 8 years ago, I quit my job, walked out of my corporate job, and started Maricel's Kitchen. It was scary though. Scary because I'm 52 when I decided on that one. Who decides on that at that age, right? But so now I could share like, don't be scared. It is an age is just a number. Just pursue whatever you want because it's gonna give you so much happiness, pleasure, contentment. I mean, every time I go face in my kitchen, it's not a job for me. It's something that I love doing, and I guess it shows because I have a lot of followings now. Like people like come back all the time. I should say.
Well, I'd love to talk about some of the fruits of your labour, if you'll pardon the food pun. I couldn't resist putting one in there. I want to talk about some of the recognition that you've been getting on the
Uh-huh.
Food Network, PBS, Hulu's Recipe Rumble, of course, of which you were
Yes.
the winner. Talk me through
Huh?
some of the crazy journey that you've been on since then. I mean,
I, it's
so talk me
crazy.
through it. It must be crazy.
It is crazy because, especially the way they approached me, it was so unexpected. I went one time with PBS. I did a back-to-back gig 2 years for PBS. It's called Table for All by Buki Alegbidi, and it was funny when the producer called me. I was driving, and I say, "Would you want to be with PBS?" I was like, "Yeah, right." Why do you call me? I'm nothing. I'm a simple lady doing my little thing. And I was hushed. We called 3 times, and then on the third time, I said, "All right, I'm driving. Put it on an email." And then when I got to my office, I saw the email. It says PBS. Like, oh my God, it's the real thing. And then I called him up, and then we talked. We connected right away, and then boom. I mean, I got featured for that show, Table for All. It was their initial viewing, I should say. And then again, Food Network. Now this is different because my husband would always say, "Oh, you should go there." I said, "Like, why? I mean, there's so many great cooks out there. Why would they pick me, right?" So, My husband actually applied, there's JS casting and stuff like that. He applied me and I didn't even know. And then one time he said to me, like, did you get a call from the Food Network? I said, yeah, they would call me, sure. Long behold, a few days later, I got a call from Food Network. Like, you know what? We're interested with you. And then, and that, again, the producer, like, we hit good. And that's it. We started. Food Network's such a big thing because they flew me to Phoenix, Arizona to do that segment. And it was a very interesting event. And of course, it's funny because we actually told my friends we're coming. So now sometimes when I go food shopping, says, "Hey, I saw you on Food Network," and currently one of my friends from California, she's doing her then. This is a side story. She was doing her cleanup in the dentist, and there you go, Food Network, and that's me showing me. I said like, "Oh my God, that's crazy." And
I love
Hulu,
that.
same thing. Called and stuff like that. We got connected, and Hulu was a very quick one. I think in a few weeks we scheduled it, and then it came out to be perfect. As you know, I won, and then I also did Korean K Seafood. It's the South Korean Bureau of Fisheries. They've been sponsoring me for 6 years now. I do private events for that, private cooking class to expose what Korean seafood is all about. So, in fact, September 22, we're hosting another one, and it's only for the food industry people, chefs, food content creators. So that's what we have invited. So we're going to have that on September 22. I've been asked to go to the Edison Food Fair, so I've been doing that also for a few years. So, yeah, I printed my cookbook. I published my first cookbook, so that was interesting. It's exciting.
No, it sounds super exciting, and it sounds like you've balanced all of these different food and flavor, identity, business, storytelling. You've kind of built this whole thing. What's that like, balancing these different aspects? Because food is a very emotional thing. We started the conversation by talking about childhood and migration and family, but now we're talking almost kind of the American dream of moving to the country and being flown out
Yeah,
to
yeah.
Arizona.
I mean, sometimes I pinch myself. It's happening to me, It's
But,
like,
but, but, but talk me through that exactly, because talk me through how food can be the through thread in all of that, whether it's kind of intimate family gatherings versus cable TV. How does that differ for you?
it's so, as I've said, I started small when I quit my job. I was so nervous if people would actually sign up to my cooking classes. And it did happen. People signed up. They were happy with what I'm teaching and stuff like that. And that kind of grew. And my thing is, a lot of people are like really foodies, and most of them are really trying to connect with their traditions and their heritage, and or they're trying to learn a different cuisine, especially now I have seen that the younger generations see dining as a cultural exploration, and that is exactly what I'm doing, is sharing, helping people explore identity through the shared language of flavor, whether you're Filipino or Chinese or whatnot. Food, the flavors connect us, some people would love Thai food, so they come to my Thai cooking classes. So it's the flavors, it's what you want to try and what you want to learn about. That's how I think food is right. It's very important.
Well, it's not just about the flavour as well. It's also about the community and the culture of sitting around the table and sharing something and breaking bread, which is
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, among young people, it's kind of becoming a lost form
I
of community.
you're right. I agree with that with you because I think the food, what I'm doing in my cooking studio is actually building a community a community of people that love food, want to learn about food, want to explore about food. So that's a big environment to touch. It's, and I'm beginning to understand now that it's easy to connect with people with food. And one great example is like when we have a cooking class, I could have a party of 20 people. These are people that don't know each other. So during the course of the cooking class, they cook, they talk to each other, and at the end of that cooking class, they get to sit down and eat what they have cooked. You know what's interesting and what's amazing is like at the end of that communal eating part of it, they start exchanging emails, telephone numbers, cell phone. That means they connected. These are people that they don't know each other, but at the end, they were connected. With what? Because of the food that they made, the experience that they have experienced in that cooking class. So it's an amazing journey for me to say that I connect people through the flavors of food.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, I hope everyone listening to us today or watching us today will also resonate and connect with that, because I'm a complete foodie myself. Anyone around me will
I hope
know
you can
that.
come to New Jersey. Come try my cooking.
I would love that. I've actually been to Manila a few times, and I've had yeah. I've had the Korean hot pot and everything. Yeah, um,
Awesome.
so I've loved it a lot myself. I do enjoy it there, and when I was in Vietnam a few years ago as well, and we had one of those cooking courses where we all got into groups, and I did one of the frying wok things, and I almost burnt my eyebrows off while doing it. It was a very it was a very fun experience. Talk me through the kind of connection to the past versus the innovation and entrepreneurship of like turning that into a business. So is there conflict there at all, or how do you?
No, it's actually a connection. It's really like from my grandmother's kitchen, and thank God I hang out in her kitchen because if I didn't do that, who knows what I'm doing right now, right? I could be in a corporate desk still doing work, whatever. So now, at my age, I'm still making them. So every time I make them, it reminds me of my childhood. It reminds me of my connection with my grandmother. And now I'm trying to share that emotion, share that knowledge or experience to the people that are coming to my kitchen. If you come to my cooking studio, I have a huge picture of a stone grinder. I really wanted that because that's my past, that's my childhood. I remember my grandmother me asking me to help grind rice to become rice flour. And every time I come to teach that specific menu in my cooking studio, I get to repeat that story. I get to share that story to the people. And then, you know what? A lot of people don't know what that stone grinder is. And just right there, they just had an additional knowledge of what do you use to grind something. Well, that's a stone grinder.
Yeah.
So I think the past has a very good connection to the present and to the future, especially to what I'm doing, because I'm basically just sharing what I have learned, what I have experienced. Of course, now there's so much technology that makes cooking a lot easier because, as you could see, everybody's busy, everybody has no time. So you need those gadgets to actually help you speed up your cooking to also still make a good recipe, still make good food. And sometimes I always say to the people, sometimes simple is better, So don't get all those gadgets. You could still make good food out of simple frying pan and sautéed pans. So, but yeah, technology helps to make it better, and I guess for speed more than anything else and consistency. But if you're just learning something for yourself and your family, you don't need those gadgets. You cook with your heart, it always comes out right.
Are there any other aspects, like we've established that food can be a good through thread to meet different generations and bond with grandparents and then grandchildren. Do you think there are any other ways that people can do that? I mean, the obvious one used to be kind of religious tradition, but even that's also diminishing.
Yeah, for me, I stick to my traditions. I stick when I cook. I always stick to what I have learned. I like to share Filipino cuisine from how I learned it. How I experience making them and stuff like that, because it actually keeps it humble, I would say. It keeps you, make sure that it's authentic. A lot of people have a problem with saying authentic food. What is authentic food? For me, authentic food is how I ate it when they got served when I was young. So I don't like to do a lot of fusion in my cooking, because I want to keep it generic. I wanted to keep it like the way I had it. So sometimes when I do in my cooking classes, I teach them how we Filipinos eat egg rolls. We dunk it in a vinegar, but not the sweet and sour sauce. So, and they say, oh, and then they say, oh, this is a big, nice big flavor. So I'm teaching through examples of how I learned it. And that, I think that would go on, like my kids. My husband is Italian, I'm Filipino. So they're learning both Italian and Filipino
No,
cuisine.
those are good foods.
Good foods. Even at Christmas time, we split our tradition. We do seven fishes, but only the three of them, and then the rest is Filipino tradition. So my kids, they're growing. They're 30 years old and 21. They know what Filipino cuisine is all about, because I never changed it. I was true to my cuisine. I didn't, add or, try different stuff to change it.
Is that from the cookbook that you're releasing, Maricel
I
Simply
have
Asian?
it. Look, look, look.
There we are. Hold it up for everyone to see. That's wonderful. Thank you.
Thank
I'll be
you.
sure to put a link down as well or up
Yes,
above.
will do.
So if you send that to me, I can put it here for you. Um, Not just the recipes that you have in the book. Are there any other messages, lessons, stories?
Yes.
Talk me through about what readers or
Yes.
eaters, however you want to call them, talk me through what they might learn from that book.
Oh, a lot of things. So the first few pages are a story about how I got to where I am right now. It's about my grandmother and my journey through. I mean, I've been here in America for 35 years, so I spent a lot of time already here. So, but in this book, I made it simple so that a lot of people won't get intimidated in making Asian food. All right, because there's some QR codes in the book, wherein if they do that, they have additional tips to make the dish or where they could find it. I've actually told them what the different rice, the different soy sauce, the different vinegar, so the intimidation of cooking Asian dish food is gonna be out, and I made it simple to understand. It's a step by step thing that so that, a lot of people like to make Asian food, but they don't know where to start. So at least with this book, they would know, oh, it's a rice noodle. This is what you make out of the noodles from the Philippines. This is japchae. It's a Korean noodle. So they have an understanding. So when they go to an Asian market, they know exactly what to look for. So that I want to make sure that they get that, correct. The
But
right
Scott, this
ingredient.
conversation is making me hungry already, just thinking about it.
Oh, oh, you could. So in here, I have Filipino, Cantonese, Japanese, Thai, Vietnamese, and Korean cuisine. So right
Beautiful.
off there, like you have those six, seven cuisines that you could learn easily in your house, in your own
Beautiful.
kitchen.
What's the response been so far from people? Like, talk me through some of the feedback.
Oh my gosh, thank God. So we have put this book to NetGalley so everyone could review it. Happily, a lot of 5 stars, uh, not a lot. I think 95% is a 5 star.
It's
Just
good enough.
don't want to brag, but it's the real thing. But they understood what the message is of the cookbook. I want them to have a simple, like, it's so nice to read all those reviews saying like, my goal is what they have picked up from reading the cookbook. So I think that's a success, and I would like them to really get into cooking it one by one so that they know, you know, how good it, that every cuisine has its own identity. It doesn't lose because you're just a plain Asian, you're part of the Asian country. But Filipino is different, Chinese is different, Japanese is different. So going through the pages of the book, you'll find out the differences on these cuisines.
Wonderful, Maricel. I can't wait to dive in myself and pick out a few recipes to try and make at home. We're running out of time. Unfortunately, we're getting to the end of our time today. But I do want to end as I often do now with a quick fire round. So I do ask you just a few questions. I want as few words as possible in your answers. Very, very brief answers. I have a few questions here. A dish you'll never get tired of cooking.
Kare kare. It's a beef oxtail in peanut sauce. Love that.
Delicious. A kitchen tool you can't live without.
A kitchen tool, I would say a wok. It's a
Makes sense. What's your guilty pleasure snack?
sticky rice.
One
Sticky rice.
spice
I love
or
anything
ingredient.
sticky. I'm sorry,
Sorry?
I didn't hear the last question.
No, no, no. One spice or ingredient that instantly feels like home to you.
Fish sauce.
Sure. And I don't know if this question's so relevant because I don't know where you would go from it. But if you weren't a chef, what would you be doing instead?
I guess I'm always just would love to cook. That's all I want to do is cook and share my passion for cooking. That's what I want to do.
I
Nothing
have one
else.
last question for you now, and then
Uh-huh.
I'll let you go. Best way for people to follow or connect with you and get your work. What's the best way to connect?
Oh, sure. So I have Facebook, of course, Maricel's Kitchen USA. I have a website, maricelsKitchen.com. I also have a TikTok account. What else? Instagram. What else? Email, Maricel's Kitchen. Yeah. So email. We could write all the links for them to
Yeah.
figure it
I'll put
out.
it all here. I'm using this new platform now. We're
Yes, me
upgrading the
too.
podcast platform, so I'll be able to put them all everywhere
Yes,
for
yes, yes,
everyone.
please.
Yeah, for everyone to watch at home. Maricel, thank you so, so much. You've made me absolutely starving. I'm going to go and make some dinner now. Or
Get
maybe
some dim sum. Or
yeah, exactly. Maybe I'll just
lumpia.
order it instead. Get it delivered
Pancit.
in. Maricel, thank you so, so much for the time. I've really enjoyed your
Thank you
insights
so much. I had a
into
great
your
time
history and your
chatting
heritage.
with you. Yes,
Yeah,
thank
it's been
you.
amazing. Thank you very much.
Thank you.